History likes to present progress as a straight line, one invention neatly replacing the last, each breakthrough brighter than the one before it. But real innovation doesn't work that way. It zigzags, it stumbles, and sometimes it gets buried. Not because it didn't work, not because it lacked brilliance, but because it challenged power, profit, or comfort. Tonight, we're uncovering hidden inventions a world buried, ideas that were ignored, suppressed, or forgotten, yet maybe exactly what we still need today. 1. The 100-mile-per-gallon carburetor. Soft mechanical sound, fading engine noise. In the 1930s, during the Great Depression, an inventor named Charles Nelson Poe claimed he had built a carburetor that allowed cars to travel over 100 miles per gallon. At a time when fuel was expensive and scarce, this should have been revolutionary. Instead, it vanished. Demonstrations reportedly showed incredible efficiency, and witnesses swore it worked. Yet mass production never happened. Critics argue the technology was unstable or impractical at scale, but supporters point to something else: oil interests. Whether the carburetor truly worked as claimed is still debated. What's not debated is this: fuel efficiency breakthroughs have often struggled to survive in markets built on consumption. Today, as the world grapples with climate change and rising fuel costs, the idea behind Poe's invention, radical efficiency, feels more urgent than ever. 2. Airships, the sky giants we abandoned. Before airplanes dominated the skies, airships, massive, floating giants, offered a quieter, more fuel-efficient way to travel. They required a fraction of the energy planes consume. They could stay aloft for days, and they produced far less pollution. So why did we abandon them? The answer is often traced back to one disaster, the Hindenburg in 1937. The fiery crash burned itself into public memory, and airships became synonymous with danger. But here's what rarely gets mentioned. The Hindenburg used hydrogen because the U.S. refused to export safer helium for political reasons. Modern materials, non-flammable gases, and advanced navigation systems could make airships safer and greener than ever. Yet they remained sidelined, overshadowed by faster, louder, more polluting aircraft. In an era desperate for sustainable transport, airships may deserve a second chance. 3. Nikola Tesla's wireless power. Nikola Tesla dreamed of a world without wires. In the early 1900s, he worked on wireless energy transmission, believing electricity could be broadcast through the Earth itself, free and accessible to all. His most ambitious project, the Wardenclyffe Tower, was designed to transmit power across vast distances. But funding dried up. Why? Because investors, including J.P. Morgan, reportedly asked a simple question: where do we put the meter? A system that couldn't be easily controlled or charged for threatened the very foundation of energy commerce. Tesla died nearly penniless. His vision was dismissed as impractical. Yet today, we use wireless charging on phones, medical implants, and electric vehicles. Tesla wasn't wrong. He was just early, and perhaps too idealistic for a world driven by profit. 4. The plastic that could have saved the oceans. Our gentle ocean waves. In the 1920s, scientists discovered biodegradable plastics derived from plant cellulose and milk proteins. They decomposed naturally. They didn't poison ecosystems. They worked. So why did we replace them with petroleum-based plastics? Cost, durability, and convenience. Oil-based plastics were cheaper to mass-produce and lasted longer, exactly what manufacturers wanted. Unfortunately, that durability became a curse. A century later, our oceans are choking on plastic waste that will outlive generations. Ironically, researchers are now racing to reinvent what we once abandoned, plastics designed to disappear. The solution existed long before the problem exploded. 5. Early electric cars, before gas took over. At the turn of the 20th century, electric cars were common. In fact, around 1900, nearly a third of vehicles in the United States were electric. They were quiet, clean, easy to drive. Gasoline cars, on the other hand, were loud, dirty, and difficult to start until the electric starter motor changed everything. Then came cheap oil, mass production, and aggressive marketing. Electric cars faded into obscurity for nearly a century. Today, they are hailed as cutting-edge innovation. But in truth, they are a comeback story, Proof that progress isn't always about inventing something new, but rediscovering what we lost. 6. The Antikythera mechanism, an ancient computer. In 1901, divers discovered a corroded device inside a Greek shipwreck dating back over 2,000 years. At first, it was dismissed as junk. Decades later, scientists realized it was something astonishing. The Antikythera mechanism, an ancient analog computer used to predict eclipses, planetary movements, and celestial events. Its complexity rivaled 18th century clockwork. And then, nothing like it appeared again for over 1,000 years. What knowledge was lost when civilizations fell? What inventions vanished because their creators died, libraries burned, or skills went undocumented? The Antikythera mechanism reminds us that human ingenuity doesn't always move forward. Sometimes it resets. 7. Rainmaking and weather control. Thunder rolling softly. In the mid-20th century, scientists experimented with cloud seeding, a technique to induce rainfall by dispersing particles into clouds. Early results were promising, helping relieve droughts and increase crop yields. But ethical concerns, geopolitical fears, and inconsistent results pushed the technology to the sidelines. Who controls the rain? Who decides when and where it falls? Today, climate instability has revived interest in weather modification. Several countries quietly use cloud seeding to manage water resources. Once controversial, now quietly necessary. 8. Passive cooling architecture. Desert wind, footsteps on stone. Long before air conditioning, ancient civilizations mastered passive cooling. Wind towers in Persia, thick stone walls in Rome, courtyards and water channels that naturally reduce temperatures. These designs required no electricity, just deep understanding of airflow, shade, and materials. Modern architecture largely ignored these principles in favor of energy-hungry vac systems. Now, as cities overheat and power grids strain, architects are once again studying ancient blueprints. Sometimes the future looks suspiciously like the past. 9. The social cost of buried inventions. Not every buried invention was suppressed by shadowy forces. Some failed due to limitations of their time. Others were simply misunderstood. But the pattern remains. When innovation threatens established systems, economic, political, or cultural, it often faces resistance. The tragedy isn't just lost technology. It's lost possibility. Cleaner energy, healthier environments, more equitable access to resources. What might the world look like if these inventions had been nurtured instead of neglected? 10. Why this matters now. We stand at a crossroads. Climate change, resource depletion, growing inequality. The solutions we need may not come solely from futuristic labs, but from dusty notebooks, forgotten patents, and ideas ahead of their time. Progress isn't just about asking, what can we invent next? If you did, make sure like and subscribe to our channel for future updates. See you in the next video.